Hello and welcome to day 2 of the IAE. It is the 18th of November. It's Aegis Day. Let me actually go back in first person properly. So, I actually don't know how... Oh, wow, there's all the halls on the Zenith Hall. All of the little areas in the Zenith Hall are all being used. That's interesting. We're going to take a look at all of the ships here, have a bit of a chat about them as we move around. Someone just pushed us out of the way. And then we'll have a look on what's on sale on the RSI website. So, you can rent all these ships that are here. And you can see in the middle, that giant ship, that's the Aegis Reclaimer. That is the mighty salvage ship. So, at the moment, it can do sort of... It's got some turrets for hull stripping salvage. But eventually, it will be able to use that claw there. And it will also be able to grind up salvage with structural salvage, which is apparently coming in Alpha 3.22. So by the end of the year, we're going to get structural salvage, and this ship is going to really be great for that. It is very much multi-crew. It is a sort of a salvage operation all by itself, and it can defend itself. It's got a load of guns, as you can see there. Pew pew pew, pew pew pew. Very cool, very massive ship, and yeah, it's if you don't want to do salvage, you're not going to want it. It's as simple as that. We've got the Sabre Comet here, which is basically just a variant of the standard Sabre. So it's got a different skin. I think it's got a ballistic loadout as well. Created as part of the Masters of Flight series in conjunction with the Flight Sim Arena Commander, the Comet pays tribute to famed pilot Captain Kamur Dilian. I have no idea how to say his name. For his work with Aegis to usher in a new era of combat ship design. This Sabre comes equipped with a specialised dogfighting focused loadout. Wow, just getting knocked around, and a custom special edition livery honouring this iconic ship. Yeah, you get really close to that, buddy. So I'm looking forward to when they actually put the AI stuff in for collision avoidance and being aware of where I am, so they don't potentially knock me out of the way. That'll be useful, right? Actually, let's have a quick read of the Reclaimer one. The Aegis Reclaimer is an industrial salvage ship equipped with a reinforced cargo bay, a long-range jump drive, and launch pods for unmanned drones. The Reclaimer is an ideal ship for taking advantage of deep shipwrecks, tractor beams, floodlights, scanner options, and docking ports around out the tools on this capable utilitarian spacecraft. So yeah, it's got some little scouting or salvage drones as well, which are not available in-game yet. We've got a standard Sabre here as well. So Sabre, my favourite medium fighter, I think. It's sort of like high-tech, a bit stealthy, load of size 3 weapons, 4 size 3 weapons, some missiles. But yeah, it's sort of relatively high-tech, really quite powerful medium fighter, sort of very multi-role, but I just like it being good amount of firepower, being a bit stealthy, being a bit agile. It's got that really iconic and interesting sort of silhouettes and look about it, right, as well, the Sabres. Although... don't think we're going to see a Sabre Raven today. This is the... standard Sabre is pretty cool. What else have we got? And let's move into Hall 2 and 3. So this is one of the things that Zin and I spotted yesterday, was that there's little adjoining areas have sort of roles and different sort of jobs and stuff that you can do shown off. So you've got cargo here and lots of different cargo vehicles and ships and models and stuff. It's pretty cool. We're going to go to Zenith Hall 2 though. Got the Aegis Avenger series. So I really like these as starter ships, especially the Avenger Titan, because it's got this big old gun on its nose, but it's also got a nice set of firepower and missiles under its wings as well. Relatively upgradable. This is the actual Titan, and it's got a good amount of cargo space. Where's the button to open the rear on the Titan? I've forgotten. Can I...
If I had the credits, I'd probably get one of these for myself.
You... I don't want to rent you, I want to open you. There we go. Opened. Weird, I couldn't remember where the button was. I think it's because a load of new ships have actual glowing buttons that you can see. So it's got a reasonable little sort of like cargo area, and then you've got sleeping area before you go into the cockpit. So it's actually a pretty good starter ship, but it's more sort of second tier starter. And they've got Stalker, which is very similar, but basically the rear module has sort of bounty hunting bays in it instead. I say bounty hunting bays, little pods that you can put your bounties in, sort of little cryopods. So very cool. In the center here, we have the Redeemer. Now, people were thinking that the Redeemer was going to have some sort of different variant available for it today. I haven't checked out the RSI website, so I don't know for sure yet. But this is a Redeemer. It used to be a dropship gunship hybrid, and they basically went, no, we're going to make it a almost pure gunship. And that's what you have. A huge amount of forward-facing firepower. It looks like got some hair straighteners on the side. But yeah, lots of turrets and firepower and pew pew pew. Designed by Aegis Dynamics, the Redeemer is a powerful fighting ship capable of holding its own in combat with a powerful weapon payload, dotted with turrets and missiles. The Redeemer also doubles as an armoured landing craft capable of delivering soldiers to the front lines. So, okay, so it still sounds like it is going for that hybrid option. I was always assuming that they had pushed it down the pure gunship route, but it's sort of much more of a gunship than it is a dropship now. So it's still apparently a little bit of dropship. I suppose that's true. I mean, you can have people in there and they can run out from the back. So got what's the actual seating like in it? There's a lot of ships I don't use regularly. Okay, so it's not sort of like you haven't got an armory full of people running down and running out of the ship. But I suppose you could have the crew run out. It can be used as a dropship. So let's go have a look on the other side, the other two Avengers. So you've got the Titan Renegade, basically a different loadout for the Standard Titan, as part of the Masters of Flight series again.
I wonder how this show is going to compare to the last one.
Just different loadout and skin. And then you've got the Warlock. So the Warlock, really interesting ship. Not as interesting as it used to be. Basically, I believe it was the first EMP ship that we had in game, and it replaces the rear sort of cargo bay of the Titan with this very spinny EMP device. So you want to EMP someone, this used to be a ship to have, and now there's a variety of other ships that also do EMPing to a different degrees and different levels. So sort of bear that in mind. It doesn't have a quantum dampener or anything like that, but this is very much a... You're not sure which type of Avenger is coming towards you, right? When you're fighting one, so you're like, oh god, what if it's a Warlock and it's going to EMP me? Right, let's move over to the next hall. So what do we have in this hall? Well, we've got a Hammerhead in the centre. I absolutely love the Hammerhead. I think the Hammerhead is just absolutely fantastic. And then we've got it flanked by a couple of Gladiuses. I say a couple of Gladii or Gladiuses. It's going to be the standard Gladius, and then the sort of just different loadout version, the Valiant there. So Hammerhead, it is basically a conventional weapon defensive corvette, like a patrol corvette. I don't think technically it's a corvette, but I mean it's basically corvette sized. It's got a load of big turrets, manned turrets on the sides that have a load of huge sort of repeaters on, and it's going to be fantastic for shooting down fighters and torpedoes, larger missiles, things like that. Basically providing a defensive cover and taking out and dealing with fighters. So you'd have it as part of larger battle groups, covering larger ships and that sort of stuff. Really cool idea. Absolutely fantastic in-game right now. Like, quite fun to use if you've got a full crew for it, is what I mean. I suppose it's because when we didn't have proper multi-crew, but you sort of have the sort of turrets all operational, where you can just fly around and all think about who you're going to shoot. Sort of all bring your weapons to bear on a target, rather than... We don't have the engineering gameplay yet or anything like that, so we can't be repairing our ships properly. But you can all crew and shoot the turrets together. Yeah, very cool ship. And it's got a like reinforced bridge as well for ramming, technically, although I'm not sure how often that's going to come up. But yeah, loads of big old guns. If you want a nice crew of like... I think it suits a crew of like 6 or 7. As I remember. And then you've got the Gladius, which is quite a sturdy, older fighter. And it's it's been meta a lot of times over the years because, yeah, it's quite small. It's got a low profile. It's relatively fast. It's got good armaments. Yeah, if you want to do sort of bounty hunting and combat, probably can't go wrong with the Gladius. It's going to be a ship that you use regularly in Squadron 42. But yeah, single-seater, light fighter that sort of can compete with sort of medium fighters as well, really. Then you've got the Valiant's loadout as well, if you're into that sort of thing. I think I prefer the standard Gladius. Okay, so we've got the Aegis Eclipse there. I couldn't remember what it was called, and then I realised it was above it. So the Eclipse basically has 3 massive torpedoes and is a terror in the skies. Very, very good at dealing with people coming along over like Jumptown, trying to bomb there. You'd like use these to counter people using an A2, stuff like that. But yeah, stealth bomber looks absolutely amazing, right? It's got a couple of little pew-pews on it as well to defend itself beyond deploying those 3 giant torpedoes. But it can then, after it's used them, it would go back to be rearmed is the idea. Very awesome looking ship. And it really has a use even now, especially in PvP. And then we've got the Retaliator. Again, lots of big old torpedoes. Now, interestingly, the Retaliator is a modular ship. So it's got 2 torpedo bays, which can be swapped out for cargo bays, a pod sort of dropship function, living quarters sort of area, or living areas, and maybe more in the future as well. But yeah, it's a proper multi-crew ship as well. So you've got various turrets on board as well for defensive purposes, but also it's a bit of a flying fortress when it's in the air. I mean, it can deal with fighters reasonably well with all its turrets. It's got a good amount of tankiness to it, and it's got very, very, very deadly armament when looking at taking out medium and large ships. So certainly one I would recommend trying in a group. I'd say it's a viable alternative to a combat version of something like a Constellation Aquila or Constellation series in general. And what have we got in the final main hall? Okay, so we've got the Vanguard series. I assume that's the Warden. So Vanguard is a sort of long-range heavy fighter. It's multi-crew, sort of two crew really. So you've got the pilots, and then you've got the gunner or the subsystem operator. And the Warden, it's more tanky, and its central sort of pod is for sort of escape. It's got a little escape pod basically in the center of the ship that can technically function separately. So got beds and stuff like that as well. Very tanky, very cool, heavy fighter. Really looking forward to actually seeing these more regularly used in combat once Star Citizen's sort of closer to completion. Once we have more reason to use a wider range of ships more often. So some things like this get pushed past the... don't get used in the meta at the moment, but once we have like systems like Pyro and systems where longer range, quite durable ships might have a good advantage, then I think we'll see the Warden and the Vanguards in general more. We've got the Sentinel. Now this is my favourite sort of Vanguard. It is the EMP/E-War version. I say EMP. It's got EMP missiles, I believe. But it also can do some hacking. It's got loads of sort of disruption weapons on it. It's got a little hacking terminal inside. Again, 2 crew, and the other crewman would either take control of the turret or be doing some hacking in the back. Very much you can tell which Vanguard is which by the paint job. We've got the Hoplite. Hoplite changes up the sort of rear module for a little drop, sort of armoured personnel carrier drop pod debris in the back. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? I'm not trying to say drop pod. It's like a drop ship. Oh my god. I'm bad at words. Apologies. So we've got a little armory here, or at least weapons rack that all the sort of Marines can use. And you've got room for 6 people to be sitting there, and a load of weapons, and obviously a couple of other crew in there as well. I think it's the cheapest of the Vanguard series as well, oddly. But it's obviously got some fantastically useful function. We'll be seeing it in Squadron 42 as well, I believe. And then you've got the Harbinger. So this is the sort of missile variant. Yeah, lots of big ballistics and missiles on this one. And if you're sort of into that, great. I think you can see some of the big ordnance it's got in the back as well. Yeah, with love, indeed. So we're going to go check out the holosuite. So there's nothing in the sort of vehicle section downstairs, but there are a few things in the holosuite for sure. I'm just not entirely sure what they are. So to start with, we have the very cool rearm, repair and refuel drone ship, the Vulcan. So the idea of the ship is that you can get some of these drones and make money by refitting and repairing and giving resources to other ships that require them. I suppose you could use it in a fleet as well. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be perfectly useful as part of a fleet to rearm, repair and refuel as well. But you can operate them solo in places like Pyro especially. You're going to be able to make a good amount of money from that. Yeah, it looks a bit like Master Chief from the front. If you look at it. Look at that. That's Master Chief's helmet, right? 100% Halo. What else have we got? The Nautilus. So basically, this is a mine layer and mine repurposer. So it's a sweeper, a mine layer, and it can grab these sort of other people's mines and repurpose them and put them back out. It'll be interesting to see how multiples of these operate against each other, sort of repurposing mines as they go. The couple of mines that we do know about that we're going to be able to deploy are magnetic explosive mines and sort of more turret mines. Sort of deployable turrets, effectively. It's got a big old gun on the front as well. For sort of longer range sniping, I suppose. Yeah, it's got a reasonable armaments. But its main purpose is mine sweeping and mine laying with its drones. But what else have we got? Anything else interesting? This is the last one today. Oh, and we've got an Idris. Assumedly the Idris M, because you can see the railgun. Odd, because we've seen, obviously the Idris is actually in-game, kind of at the moment. It's not in players' hands, but NPCs have it as part of missions. We know the model exists. We know that they're going to be releasing the Idris with Squadron 42 into players' hands. But yeah, Idris, big frigate. This is the Idris M with the railgun at the bottom. So yeah, just very powerful sort of combat ship that also has a big hangar inside, sort of for carrying a small wing of fighters. Yeah, going to be a ship that you use or are on regularly as part of Squadron 42. Really looking forward to playing that. Let's check out the website, see what's on there today. Things like the Idris and Javelin are on sale in waves. I suspect the wave of Idrises and Javelins, the first one, have been sold out already, but you'll have another chance at midnight UTC and 8 AM UTC, if you are trying to get those. So they've got this magazine that they're putting out every day, and there's no Jax McCleary this year, but I suspect he'll return next year. But they've got some little specials and interactive little interactive magazine with some videos in here. So today's Garmin Humble, who is a bounty hunter, and worth watching. They are quite funny. Looks at how different roles will work in the verse. It's done in a very silly way, and I think it's worth checking out for sure. So it's sort of bounty hunting, security, private security. So what ships do we actually have on sale today? So we've got the Avenger Stalker from $60, the Titan from $60, the Renegade from $75, and the Warlock $85. I really like the Avenger Titan as a starter ship, although you've got really strong competition with things like the Sulan and the Nomad. It depends if you want like a tractor beam or if you're doing more a particular type of role, I suppose, or if you just like the look of one more. Got the Eclipse, $300 for that stealth bomber. That's quite a obvious price for something that's supposed to be so stealthy. Wow, it's expansive. I got the Gladius, $90. And remember, you can get all this sort of stuff in game as well. But sort of starter ships and choosing what ship to start with, I can. I do think that maybe sometimes it's worth spending a little tiny bit more money and getting what you want. But you can try all these things for free at the IAE as well. So sort of bear that in mind. See if there's a ship that you like. Gladius, really cool light fighter. I do recommend trying it out. We've got the Valiant, there's a different loadout for it. Aegis Hammerhead, $725, very expensive, but very cool. Sort of, it refers to it as a heavy gunship here, but yes, I'd say it's a sort of patrol gunboat corvette thing. Very, very interesting ship. Got the Idris P. Now, are these sold out at time of recording? Yes, they are. So they will be sold both with store credit and war bond, so using fresh money, as it were. You can get it in other ways by like buying the Aegis Complete Pack, which is one of them is over $10,000. I suppose that's with VAT. Glad it's not without VAT there. That's an extra 20% I pay because I'm in the UK. What else do we have? We've got the Javelin, $3,000. The Javelin, oof. So it's under that. It's what, 2,750, I think, without VAT if you bought it war bond. Again, they're both sold out in this wave, but you can try and grab another one at midnight UTC. Got the Nautilus, $725 for that mine layer. It is in concept, it's not in game yet, but I suppose that's true of the Javelin technically and the Idris as well. Although they appear in game, those two, they're not available to actually fly by players yet. But the Nautilus, cool, sort of mine layer, mine repurposer, mine sweeper. You've got the Reclaimer, $400. Looking at the prices of other ships, it makes it look positively cheap. But yeah, it's a very big, sort of heavy salvage ship, and it's absolutely fantastic and fun. You want to run it with the crew, though. If it's just one of you or two of you, you might just want to get around using a vulture or two vultures. But if you're going for 4+ people, then maybe the Reclaimer's for you, and it's getting that structural salvage in Alpha 3.22, at least that's the plan. Redeemer, $330. It's that sort of gunship, but as we saw, you can have a load of people running out of it as well, and there are rumours that it might be getting sort of modularity and that sort of stuff in the future, maybe. And we've got Retaliator, $150. I believe that's with the torpedo modules in it, but in the future you will be able to grab all the different modules and have the ship set up in a lot more different ways. Oh, okay. So, $150. That's the base Retaliator with no modules in it. That's a good point. And then the Retaliator Bomber has the torpedo modules. That's $275. So that's quite expansive for the extra 2 torpedo modules. Base Retaliator, $150, but you will want modules for that. I mean, you can get all this stuff in-game, or at least you will be able to. So technically, the base Retaliator is in concept, because they don't have the modularity for the ship yet. But one day, soon. $170, the Sabre, fantastic. Sort of, it says stealth fighter here, but it's stealthy, rather than stealth as a focus. It's a fantastically high-tech, powerful sort of medium fighter. Got the Comet, which is the variant of it, sort of just more loadout and skin-wise, $185. Got the Vanguard Harbinger, $290. I did not realise it was so expensive. That's the sort of missile, it says bomber variant, but it's more missile and ballistics variants. Got the Hoplite, $240 for that dropship variant of the Vanguard. The Sentinel, it says Interdiction, but it is e-warfare version, $275 for that. And then you've got the Warden, $260. It's sort of specialises in staying alive longer and protecting the crew in the escape pod in the centre, assuming that's still doing that. And then $200, you've got the Vulcan, sort of rearm, repair, refuel. Want to make some money with drones and rearming people, or as part of a fleet, being a very useful multi-role repair, rearm, refuel ship there. Yeah, and that's it for today, I think. We've got a War Bond daily deal, so you can upgrade one of your ships and get 10 years insurance on it to a Sabre. at a discount if you are interested in getting that medium fighter. There will be other daily deals, one each day, I believe, at least one each day, and then at the end of the IAE from the 27th onwards, I think, they're doing a new set of daily deals, so sort of bear that in mind. And there's some very expensive ship packs if you're interested in them. I'm really interested. If there was anything you were excited about at the expo today, is there anything you're going to be trying out? Are you going to be purchasing anything on the RSI website today? The previous day's stuff, the alien ships, are also available. They just keep on adding to the stuff that is purchasable each day, but you can only rent stuff that's in the expo hall, and only 2 sets of manufacturers will be in at any one time. So tomorrow, day 3, they will be pushing out the alien manufacturers, and again from the, I believe, 27th or 26th onwards, you will be able to rent all ships again from kiosks inside the IAE during the finale, so bear that in mind. Yeah, tell me if there's anything that you are grabbing today, or are you just testing Star Citizen out for the first time, or are you waiting for something else during the IAE, because we've got a load of cool stuff happening throughout the week. And tomorrow we have Crusader Industries and Tumbrel, so some cool potential for ships and vehicles there. I'm not sure what more we're going to see in terms of new ships and vehicles, but I know there are some more to show off. And I'm not sure which ones we're getting or not. So let's wait and see. Anyway, thanks very much for watching today, and tell me what you think in the comments below.
What is best in life? To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women? No, of course not. It's NordVPN. I never saw Conan the Barbarian checking his bank balance and then watching some cool shows on Netflix, all while protecting his privacy and being super secure. To be honest, I can't even remember Conan wearing a shirt. Silly Conan. And now, a big old snake god's got your internet history. Good job. Don't be a Conan the Barbarian. Check out NordVPN. Links below for powerful discounts too. Do you like using your eye holes for extra immersion in Star Citizen and help aim and do some cool stuff? Well, you can with Tobii Eye Tracker 5, which is on sale at the moment. This gives you native high-precision head and eye tracking in Star Citizen. Very cool for general immersion, for combat both in ship or on foot. They are absolutely fantastic pieces of kit, and both Zin and I have one. Use the links below to grab one or to find out more. Every month we've been giving away a ship for Star Citizen, but for November, to celebrate the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2953, we are giving away a load of different ships, each to a different person. The Avenger Titan, the Drake Cutter, the C-8X Pisces, the Mustang Alpha, and the Nomad. All great starter ships, but also useful for any fleet. They all come with a game package and lifetime insurance. That's all you need to start playing Star Citizen. That's 5 prizes and 5 chances to win. Just comment on any of my videos made during November to be in for a chance of winning. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel via Patreon or the join button under my videos and then becoming a channel member. Please consider joining those fabulous people as well. It allows us to make daily content for Star Citizen and Squadron 42, delving into all the news, drama, development info, and gameplay that these games have to offer. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.